Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Typing Tuesday. This week, we will take a look at digital health and wellness. What does that really mean? All right. Imagine digital health and wellness as taking care of your well-being in the digital world. It's like looking after yourself when you use computers, tablets, and phonies. Screen time balance. It's important to balance the time you spend staring at screens. Too much screen time can make your eyes tired and affect your sleep. So, take breaks and do other fun activities like playing outside or reading a book. Healthy online habits. When you're online, be kind to others. Just like in real life, being polite and respectful is the way to go. Also, don't share personal information with strangers. Your privacy is important. Mindful gaming. If you enjoy playing video games, that's cool, but it's essential to play for a reasonable amount of time. Don't forget to stretch or move around to keep your body active. Tech-free time. Designate some time without screens. This could be during meals or before bedtime. This helps your brain relax and keeps you connected with your family and friends. Proper posture. When sitting at a computer, it means sitting in a way that keeps your body comfortable and healthy. Here's how. Sit up straight. Keep your back straight against the chair. Imagine a string pulling you up from the top of your head. Place your feet flat on the ground. This helps you stay balanced and comfortable. Remember, good posture is like giving your body a comfortable and supportive chair hug while you're using the computer. It keeps you feeling good and helps you focus on what you're doing. Screen at eye level. Position your computer screen at eye level so you don't have to bend your neck up or down. This reduces strain on your neck. So, digital health and wellness is like having good habits and being mindful when you're using technology. It's all about staying happy and healthy, both in the real world and the digital one. Next will be a short video to review digital health and wellness. After that, stay tuned for the Anime Club preview and This Week in History. That's all for this week. See you all next week.
What exactly is digital health and wellness? According to Ribble's chapter, The 9 Elements of Digital Citizenship, the definition of digital health and wellness is physical and psychological well-being in a digital technology world. Balance between the life one lives online and the life one lives in the real world is the key to digital health and wellness. Digital health and wellness applies to everyone who uses technology. Other physical issues associated with the improper use of technology are eye strain, repetitive stress syndrome, and poor posture. These physical issues happen when computers are positioned too high or too low for the user. For young users especially, they will conform to the poor positioned computer or chair and not think of the ergonomic long-term consequences of maintaining poor posture for long periods of time. Here are some suggested ways to prevent various technology-related physical injuries. Use proper ergonomics while using technology, such as using correct posture. Make sure the computer workstation that you're working at is ergonomically correct. Avoid repetitive motions, and take breaks regularly. Beyond the physical threat associated with technology use, there are also psychological issues. Internet addiction is a term that experts have used to describe someone who is dependent on their technology and the internet. Parents need to monitor their children's technology use and the amount of time they are spending online in order to avoid technology addiction. Educators must lead by example when it comes to digital health and wellness. They must practice correct posture and ergonomics while using technology in their classrooms. Also, they must look after their students by ensuring all computer workstations are ergonomically correct. In order to promote good digital citizenship, it is essential for educators to uphold responsible health and wellness with technology use.
Created using Powtoon. Hello, this is Mr. Simonton, one of the co-hosts of the Washington Middle School Anime Club, letting you know what we're going to be showing tomorrow. This week we present a wonderful episode of Non Biyori. It's probably my favorite anime. The plot, the music, the images, the drawing, the colors, all combine to make it one of the most satisfying episodes of the year. And for you, learning to ride a bike was filled with bumps and bruises. I know it certainly was for me. This episode is going to feel very familiar. Like I said, it's a very satisfying episode, and I think you're going to all enjoy it. But as an added bonus, we are going to be raffling off, I don't know if this is Vegeta or Goku in his Super Saiyan form, that much I do know. But the figures are almost about 10 inches tall, so we're going to be raffling this off. But I got to have at least 10 people show up before I raffle something like this, but we will have snacks for those of you that do show up. So hopefully we'll see you for this wonderful episode of Non Biyori and possible winner of a Super Saiyan. So hope to see you then. Hello and welcome once again to This Week in History. I'm your host here at Washington Middle School, Mr. Simonton. First off, January 15th, 1535, Henry VIII becomes the supreme head of the Church of England as a result of his act of supremacy following his break with Rome. The Pope didn't want to grant King Henry a divorce from his first wife, Catherine of Aragon, because she was only yielding him daughters and not sons. So he decided, well, you know what, if divorce is not legal in the Catholic Church, I'm going to make my own church where it is legal, but only for the king, so pretty convenient for him. January 15th, 1559, Elizabeth Tudor, daughter of Henry VIII, yes, same guy, and Anne Boleyn, was crowned as Elizabeth I in Westminster Abbey, and probably England really came to prominence under her leadership. January 15th, 2009, known as the Miracle on the Hudson. After suffering a bird strike in both engines shortly after takeoff in New York, Captain Chesley Sully Sullenberger and his first officer, Jeffrey Skiles, successfully ditched their Airbus A320 aircraft in the Hudson River in New York. All, I'm emphasizing that word, all 155 passengers and crew survived. An NTSB official, they're the ones that monitor transportation in the United States, described it as the most successful ditching in aviation history. No casualties at all. And we're going to watch a video of that later from the movie called Sully. January 16, 1991, the war begins against Iraq as Allied aircraft conducted a major raid against Iraqi air defenses. You're going to see some video here. It's pretty compelling. The air raid in Baghdad was broadcast live to the global audience, and I do remember this well, by CNN correspondents as Operation Desert Shield became Operation Desert Storm.
This is what it's like on the receiving end. Last night, a square mile in central Baghdad seemed like hell on earth. An inferno. ITV News cameras recorded the barrage from hotel balconies, and it was a truly chilling sight. This is going to be a big bang. This is on a completely different scale from everything else that has gone before. This isn't just an attack on bricks and mortar. It is an assault on the human senses, and as you can see, much of the Baghdad skyline, well, it's now flames and billowing smoke. Cruise missiles and bombs brought tons of high explosive to the heart of Baghdad's administrative district. This was about demolishing Saddam Hussein's symbols of power. They also hit at least one of his presidential palaces.
Yeah, And that was just the first night. It went on for many more nights after that, so it was pretty impressive firepower there. January 17, 1773, the ship Resolution, sailing under its command of Captain James Cook, becomes the first vessel to cross the Antarctic Circle. There's a picture of Mr. Cook there in his ship Resolution. And here's a map, a map of his voyages. And you can see that he's not only crossed the Antarctic Circle here, but he also has crossed the Arctic Circle as well on his last voyage. And you'll notice here that there's a cross here in the Hawaiian Islands. When he was coming back through, heading home, he wound up breaking his mainmast, and there was some difficulties there with the Hawaiian Islanders there. And the skirmish turned into an argument. The argument turned in violent, and he wound up being killed there on the island. January 19th, 1966, Indira Gandhi was elected Prime Minister of India in succession to Lal Sastry, who had died 8 days earlier. She served until 1975, so it's quite a few years there, and later from 1980 to 1984, when regrettably she was assassinated by her own bodyguards as she walked to her office. So assassination is just not something we experience here in the United States. January 20th, 1945. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt was inaugurated to an unprecedented fourth term, and no president has served more than two as President of the United States. He had served there since 1933. So just to give you some idea of just how important President Roosevelt was to our nation's history, for the seventh time since its inception in 1982, the Siena College Research Institute survey of U.S. presidents finds that experts rank Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Abe Lincoln, George Washington, Theodore Roosevelt, and Thomas Jefferson as the United States' top 5 chief executives. The 141 participating presidential scholars, so this is just not a handful of people that they're interviewing, this 141 people agreed with their peers over the last 40 years, naming the same 5 leaders as America's finest. So you notice from 1982 to 2022, which was the last survey, only once was Franklin Roosevelt not the top one. And who is in 2018? Our school's own namesake, George Washington himself. And one of my favorite presidents, Harry Truman, is also amongst the list there as well, ending up at number 7 again in 2022. Notable birthdays, 14th of January. It's kind of a name synonymous with treason here in the United States. Benedict Arnold was born in Norwich, Connecticut. He was an American Revolutionary War hero who later turned traitor, sending information to the British in exchange for money, and also command rank as well. After obtaining command of West Point, which is where we currently train our Army officers, in 1780, he conspired to turn over the garrison to the British. However, his plans were discovered, and he fled to British headquarters in New York, and then after the war, he lived in England, not really trusted by either side. 15th of January, Martin Luther King Jr. He was born in Atlanta, Georgia. As an African-American civil rights leader, he spoke eloquently and stressed non-violent methods to achieve equality, very much like Mahatma Gandhi. He received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964. Regrettably, he was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee on the 4th of April, 1968. In 1983, the third Monday in January was designated as a legal holiday in the United States to celebrate his birthday. 16th of January, the French industrialist André Michelin, yes, the same guy that came with the tires. He started the Michelin Tire Company in 1888, and it's still going strong today, pioneering the use of pneumatic tires on autos. Pneumatic means that they're air-filled and just not solid rubber. Speaking of Martin Luther King, I'd like to preview here or view his I Have a Dream speech.
We face the difficulties of today and tomorrow. I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners, will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood? I have a dream.
A very dynamic and eloquent speaker, Martin Luther King Jr. Notable birthdays, continuing on here. Dr. Benjamin Franklin, 17th of January, was born in Boston, Massachusetts, considered the elder statesman of the American Revolution. In fact, he was actually the oldest signer of the Declaration of Independence. He displayed multiple talents as a printer, an author, a publisher, a philosopher, scientist, diplomat, and philanthropist. A philanthropist is somebody who does generous things for other people. He signed both the Declaration of Independence and the United States Constitution. Next, probably one of the most famous boxers of all time, the 17th of January also, Muhammad Ali. He was born in Louisville, Kentucky, 1942, as Cassius Clay. That was his original birth name. At age 22 in 1964, he knocked out Sonny Liston to win the World Heavyweight Boxing Championship. And there's an image from that fight. It's probably one of the most reproduced and probably most famous sports images of all time. After converting to the Muslim faith, he became an outspoken objector on religious grounds to the American involvement in the Vietnam War and refused military service upon being drafted. As a result, he was stripped of his boxing title, banned from boxing, and subsequently jailed. After a long legal battle, his conviction was reversed, and he regained the championship in 1974 by defeating George Foreman. Regrettably, in the 1980s, after retiring from boxing, he revealed he had a new struggle with Parkinson's disease. However, he remained active, devoting himself to various philanthropic and humanitarian causes. Next, on the 18th of January, we have the American orator, which means he's a speaker, and politician, Daniel Webster. He was born in Salisbury, New Hampshire. Liberty and union, now and forever, one and inseparable. He stated in the U.S. Senate in 1830 in response to Southern senators who contended that individual states had the right to refuse to obey Congress. I'm sure there are many states that think the same thing today. And finally, lastly, we have the American author and poet, Edgar Allan Poe, on the 19th of January. He was a writer of mystery and suspense tales. He was born in Boston, Massachusetts, just like Benjamin Franklin. His works include The Fall of the House of Usher, The Tales of a Grotesque and Arabesque, Murders in the Rue Morgue, which I had to read when I was in high school, and his famous poem, The Raven. So that is it for this week in history, and what I'm going to leave you with is a short video from the movie Sully, which chronicles the ditching in the Hudson River of the Airbus flight by Jeffrey Skiles and Captain Sully Sullenberger. Now, the video is about as long as the actual event. In fact, it's maybe 10 or so seconds difference between the two, so it's kind of amazing what they were able to accomplish in a very short amount of time. So I hope you enjoy it. Oops.
I don't think we can make any runway. What about over to our right? Anything in New Jersey, maybe Teterboro?
Okay, yeah, off your right side is Teterboro Airport. LaGuardia to departure. Got emergency inbound.
This is Teterboro Tower. Go ahead.
Cactus 1549 over the GW Bridge. Needs to go to the airport right now.
Check. Does he need assistance?
Yes, bird strike. Can I get him in for runway 1? Cactus 1549. You want to try and go to Teterboro?
Obstacle. Full up.
Clear of conflict.
No reload after 30 seconds. And Newmaster 1 and 2 confirm off.
Off.
Wait 30 seconds.
Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain.
This is the captain. Brace for impact.
500.
Cactus 1549, turn right 280. You can land runway 1 Teterboro.
We can't make it.
Okay, which runway would you like at Teterboro?
Go ahead, try number 1.
Number 1. No relay.
We're going to end up in the Hudson.
Too low. Terrain.
I'm sorry, say again, Cactus?
Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain.
All right, let's put the flaps out. Put the flaps out.
Flaps out.
Cactus 1549 radar contact lost. You also got Newark off you at 2 o'clock in about 7 miles.
Got flaps out. 250 feet in the air. 170 knots. Got no power in either one. Try the other one.
Try that other one.
249? Still out?
150 knots. Got flaps too. You want more?
No, let's do it.
You got runway 29 available at Newark. It'll be 2 o'clock at 7 miles.
You got any ideas?
Actually not.
Terrain. Terrain.
Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
Run a race.
Pull up. Pull up.